energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. You're the question, you're the answer. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. You're the question, you're the answer. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Feel the moment, feel the power. Bring the animal back to life. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time.
A very good evening. Welcome to World Cup 2026 as we kick off a doubleheader of knockout football action. It's Brazil taking on Japan in our first of two games, followed by Germany against Paraguay. And already we know one of the 16 teams that will progress to the next stage, the co-host Canada, knocking out South Africa late in that one. Stefan Eustáquio's late winner sealed it for Canada in that one, and South Africa the first team to lose in the round of 32. But one of these two teams, who are highly regarded nations in terms of their quality, some are tipping Brazil to go to the final and maybe even cause a bit of a shock in this tournament. But Japan have been a surprise package that was an expectation that they would do well. They were not, I'm sure, happy to see that Brazil were first on the list in the knockout stages for them. Can they pull it off and knock out the five-time champions Brazil here in Houston for this one? Later on, we'll watch Germany take on Paraguay at 9:30 this evening. Can we see maybe a shock on the cards there too? A German side who are still grappling with getting to grips with their play. A few little errors. Of course, that defeat to Ecuador late in the groups means they come into that one off the back of a defeat. But Brazil couldn't be heading into the knockouts in better form. Back-to-back 3-0 victories. But Japan will be a much tougher task. No disrespect to Haiti or Scotland, but a much tougher task for Brazil tonight. A quick look at the pre-match facts. Well, the last time these two met in a World Cup was back in 2006, 20 years ago in Germany. Brazil won that game 4-1. Of course, they were the defending world champions back then, Brazil, of course. And Japan come into this one knowing that they might be able to give Brazil a real tough game. But Brazil ended up group winners in Group C. They beat Scotland and Haiti 3-0 after that 1-1 draw to open the tournament against Morocco. Japan, they finished as runners-up in Group F behind the Netherlands. A 4-0 win over Tunisia, and draws against the Netherlands and Sweden secured second spot for Japan in the group. And the winner of this one will play the winner of Côte d'Ivoire or Norway, who play tomorrow evening. And a quick look at the bracket before we show you the teams. Canada, the first team through to the round of 16. On the left-hand side, they will play Netherlands or Morocco in the round of 16. This game in the top right corner of the bracket. As I said there, the path. Brazil could possibly, Brazil or Japan, face either Côte d'Ivoire or Norway. Mexico, Ecuador, England and DR Congo are the opponents en route to a possible final for one, or semi-final for one of these teams. But it starts in a difficult fashion for both. And let's see how they line up for this one. Starting with Brazil. Alisson starts in goal. Danilo, Marquinhos, Gabriel and Santos are the back four. Casemiro is alongside Bruno Guimaraes and Lucas Paquetá in midfield, with Rayan and Vinicius Jr. the wingers, with Matheus Cunha up front. On the bench for Brazil, Ederson, Weverton, Sandro, Bremer, Pereira, Ibanez, Danilo, Ederson, Fabinho, Endrick, Martinelli, Thiago, Enrique and Neymar. Well, for Japan, a big result in their final group game, but they want and need to secure round of 16 football. And a shock it would be if they were to progress here. Suzuki starts in goal. A back five for them of Doan, Tomiyasu, Taniguchi, Ito and Nakamura. Sano and Kamada are in midfield, with Junior Ito along with Daisen Maeda and Ueda up front. On the bench, Osako, Hayakawa, Seko, Suzuki, Itakura, Watanabe, Sugawara, Nagatomo, Tanaka, Suzuki, Goto, Shoigai, Ogawa, Mashino and Kubo. So, Brazil against Japan, a real proper matchup in the round of 32. One will go home, one will progress. We'll find out. Kickoff in Houston is next. A very good evening and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us for this one. A really exciting matchup. Two teams that I think on their day can certainly be a real nuisance. Brazil have the historics and Japan have the new age belief that they can cause any team in the world problems. And after a pretty impressive group stages, they come into this one knowing that if they can pull off the shock against Brazil, they will certainly go up in many people's radars as a true dark horse in this tournament. But Brazil, the 5-time winners, know how to progress in these situations. And they have got experience right the way throughout the team. None more than Neymar on the bench for this one. He's been there and seen all the heartbreak for Brazil over the last 20 years since they were champions back in 2002. 24 years since Brazil were world champions. But still, their presence and aura hold strong over 2 decades later. It's going to be a foul as Lucas Paquetá was dragged to the ground by Ritsu Doan. An issue here for Lucas Paquetá. His hamstring seems to be the problem there for Lucas Paquetá. Maybe the way he falls. Shouldn't be, but did fall a little awkwardly there, Lucas Paquetá. Switch ball out to the right hand side. Straight from the free kick. Casemiro. Danilo. Little flick there from Brazil as they win it back, and the shot from range is directed wide. Bruno Guimarães with the efforts, and he's trying to build the crowd. Bruno Guimarães with the first attempt of the game. The ball just drops to him around about the edge of the box, and he just kind of toe pokes it with his left boot, takes a deflection, gets Brazil their first corner on 2 minutes. Really strong positive start from Brazil. He's going to be Guimarães to take the corner. Swung in, headed away at the front post. Not the best of deliveries from Bruno Guimarães, who, has it in his locker. Most certainly. Carlo Ancelotti, very experienced at club level. No doubt about that. He would really complete his career. Create a bit of magic with Brazil. Years in Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And a trophy-filled career for Carlo Ancelotti. Though stolen away here by Maeda. Battling there with Marquinhos. And Maeda wanted a foul, but the referee says goal kick, and Marquinhos, the Brazil captain, PSG captain, deals with the Celtic danger man there. And there's Hajime Moriyasu. Certainly got the quality in their team, Japan, to be a danger to Brazil. They wanted a foul there, Brazil, not going to be given that time. It's Nakamura. Back to Ito. Japan really haven't been able to get much of the ball in the first few minutes. Been a lot of Brazil play. Now they do have a bit of possession. Tomiyasu. A bit up into midfield. Ueda trying to hold it up. Stolen away from him by Guimarães. And now Marquinhos. Pinged forward, looking for the run of Vinicius Jr. And a punch away from Suzuki. Really dangerous looping ball into the path of Vinicius Jr. And Suzuki comes rushing out and punches that one clear of danger. Good strong goalkeeping from Zen Suzuki. No way for Brazil to go through there. Almost seen it a play. Lucas Paquetá with the last touch. First former West Ham player. Lucas Paquetá currently plays for Flamengo in Brazil. 28 years old, but decided that's where he wanted his career to go. Santos. Casemiro. Back across to Marquinhos. Well, the expectation obviously would be that Brazil would have the majority of possession, control the ball. It will be that ability for Japan to use the transitional moments and the counter-attacks to really create their danger with pace in the wide areas. Guimaraes with an early cross. Vinicius Jr. the target. Cleared away that time by Tomiyasu. Vinicius Jr. Paquetá. Vinicius Jr. again. Wrestling and battling, and that's going to be a foul. Given away there by Sano, the Mainz midfielder. Kaishu Sano. Just a little shoulder-to-shoulder challenge with Vinicius Jr. there. Trying to win the ball back. Another free kick here for Brazil. There's a real major Brazilian support inside the stadium. You see yellow shirts dotted everywhere around the Energy Stadium. The free kick into the box. Suzuki. Oh. Had a chance at it there that almost slipped out of his hands, and in the end he did get the catch on it. See it here. Tried to catch it the first time, maybe under the pressure of Gabriel. Just couldn't allow him to catch it, and then it did well keep control of it there at Zen Suzuki. Will be tested tonight, the Japanese goalkeeper. Here is the man of the moment, Neymar, for Brazil, included in the game against Scotland on the bench. He's on the bench for this one. Could he make an appearance in a crucial game for Brazil in the knockout stages? Gabriel to Marquinhos. Well, an interesting idea from Brazil over this one, that they don't have that out-and-out centre forward. Cunha's more of a false nine type of player. Will drop deeper, will help with the build-up. Might use the wingers in Ryan and Vinicius Jr. to make those diagonal runs. Create the danger in behind this very narrow back five of Japan. Marquinhos down the right hand side. Here is Ryan. Inside now to Guimaraes. Danilo. Guimaraes. High press there from Ueda, but Marquinhos finds Gabriel. Edge ever in more into the Japanese half there, Brazil. Very patient approach from Carlo Ancelotti's side. Here's Ryan. Cuts onto his left, looking for the switch. Pings it across. Taken in nicely by Santos. Laid off to Gabriel, and now back to Casemiro. Controlled possession. Of course, we told you the last time they met in a World Cup was 20 years ago, but they've had multiple meetings since. Mostly international friendlies, and Brazil have continued to have the strong control. Oh, the ball in behind here. Swung across the byline. Paquetá brings it down. The header from Doan. Not away yet. Shot from Guimarães. Absolutely wallops his own player, who blocks it. Here is Guimarães again. Fed wide to the left. Not willing to cross it as Gabriel just retreats. Marquinhos clipping it towards Vinicius Jr. The defensive header was just a little bit nervy, but Suzuki again controlling and commanding the box. Settles it all down again. Yeah, better play. Marquinhos trying to measure one over the top towards Vinicius Jr. And the defensive header from Taniguchi could have very easily found the Real Madrid man, but Suzuki was quick in his reactions. Here is Sano, Ito, Daichi Kamada, Kito Nakamura. Just over 10 minutes gone. Brazil have had the vast majority of the possession. Only two shots from Brazil, but neither side have had a shot on target yet. Japan yet to have a shot yet in the early moments, so a really dominant start from Brazil. Certainly on the ball. Spell here for Japan. Lovely little flick round the corner from Junior Ito. Switch ball out to Nakamura. Bit of space here for Japan. Nakamura's cross. It's dangerous. Marquinhos got the header away. Backtracking is Paquetá to help out defensively as Santos clears. Guided header by Taniguchi. As Japan retain possession, although the referee's going to give a foul here against Sano on Vinicius Jr. Have to see it again. Yeah, he did kind of go over the foot of Vinicius Jr. and getting to the ball. It's more the follow through than anything else. There's a foul. Our Italian referee Maurizio Mariani giving that free kick. This is his third World Cup match that he has refereed in the tournament. Refereed Saudi Arabia and Uruguay's 1-1 draw, and Colombia's 1-0 win over DR Congo. An early yellow card, I think, as well for Kaishu Sano. Vinicius Jr., the ball just popped up in front of him. Couldn't take control of it. Tomiyasu. Suzuki into Taniguchi. A long kick here from Zion Suzuki, just trying to change their approach. Ueda, the man up front, holds it up well. That one was well cut out in the end by Danilo. Just snuck in to win it. Off Ueda. Now Casemiro into Guimarães. Acuna! And the effort was saved wide by Zion Suzuki. Route 1 football there from Brazil. Casemiro to Guimarães to Cunha. And as Cunha takes the shot from the edge of the D, just deflects, and then the keeper makes the save anyway. Corner taken quickly, swung to the back post, and Guimarães just overheaded a little bit. Really good football again from Brazil, not allowing Japan to set, to get comfortable. They're a little bit all over the place, Japan defensively, and Guimarães' cross just a little bit too high. We see that chance there. Suzuki wasn't taking any chances with that one. Was seemingly going wide, but he made the save nonetheless, just to be sure. Here is Junior Ito. Breaking away from challenges, was hacked down there on the edge of the box. That's a late challenge by Casemiro. And that's going to be a yellow card for the Brazilian midfielder. Junior Ito making a danger of himself there. Well, the question marks over Brazil coming into this game is, where is the margin of experience to really done at the level. I don't want to be harsh, but gets to the point where experience is outweighed by the lack of physicality, the lack of speed, and all the physical attributes just start to dip. They could be difference makers in tight games against tricky opposition. Japan with their first real dangerous opportunity of the match. Free kick around about the edge of the box, slightly to the left of goal. Allison will be tested here, the Liverpool goalkeeper, as they try and figure out what they're going to do here. Japan, it's Hiroki Ito, Daichi Kamada, and Junior Ito. Well, the three around it. Actually, it's Ritsu Doan who's decided to come across now. Lots of candidates for Japan. Who's going to take it? 5-man Brazilian wall with a draft excluder. It's Daichi Kamada. Deflects up off the wall. Behind for the corner. Well, the Crystal Palace midfielder there had a really good strike at it with his right foot. You see some of the biggest Brazilian stars. R9, of course, just sitting behind the FIFA president. And a corner here for Japan. Junior Ito to take. Left-hand side. Having their best spell of the game, Japan, the last couple of minutes. Ito, right-footed delivery, bouncing down in the near post, and it just pops up for Guimaraes to clear. Carry back forward though, Kamada. Here is Ito. Now Nakamura on the overlap, but Junior Ito just a little bit too much pace on that pass. Goes behind for a goal kick. Well, the danger will be combinations between the wingers and the wing backs for Japan. How quickly they can progress the ball in the wide areas and then use the extra bodies through the centre to create the overload in the middle if there's spaces in behind. And already seen it there. Junior Ito and Kito Nakamura trying to link up down the left. I know Ritsu Doan on that right hand side can be a real danger on the overlap. Here's Sano, out to Doan. First time ball into the path of Maeda. That one's blocked behind out for the throw-in, shall I say, by Gabriel. Seems like Ito and Maeda, sorry, have just swapped sides for the moment. Well, they did swap sides anyway. Throw-in here. Doan. It's going to be a foul as Ueda accidentally handling the ball there. Free kick to Brazil nonetheless. And one player who really caused the Netherlands problems in that game at the start of the group stages for Japan was Junior Ito. Came off the bench in that game and really made a difference for Japan. They probably could have won that game late on. In the end, the draw was probably the overall fair result based on how the game had gone, but certainly a real difference maker, Junior Ito. A bit of a chess match, this one so far. Brazil not really showing their best qualities to this point. A lot of possession, little glimpses, but nothing too dangerous in the wide areas, although commentator's curse might strike again. Here's Guimaraes. Casemiro. Marquinhos. Back to Gabriel. Nice play into Guimaraes. There's Santos out on the left. Vinicius Junior. Hounded by Ritsu Doan. And Junior Ito helping out defensively there. Will be a Brazil throw. Vinicius Junior given no time on the ball there. Bit of a heavy touch there from Matej Cunha. That's going to be a throw-in to Brazil, to Japan. I'm certain it was a throw-in there to Brazil there, Matej Cunha, but the officials didn't agree. Throw-in down the line from Ito. A little bit loose. It came into midfield and pressure on Sano. Did well to evade the challenge. Ito switching it out to the right. A little bit undercooked for Ritsudoan. It's left them a little bit exposed here, Japan. Vinicius Jr. down the left, clips it back across. Taniguchi half clears it. Back out wide, Santos. A cut back there was cleared away. That was Lucas Paquetá trying the cut back. Well, one thing Japan can't do is give Brazil any opportunities like that with space in their half. They can't be too expansive in a way. You just have to be very careful with those types of cross-field passes that can't be intercepted, can go wrong, can go wayward, and then that's where you leave yourself if you do lose the ball in those sorts of situations and how exposed you are. Just over 20 minutes gone, still goalless. Neither side have had a shot on target as of yet. Brazil's best chance of the game came when Matej Cunha had his shot from the edge of the box deflected and saved by Zion Suzuki, although it looked like it was going wide nonetheless. It's the most dangerous moment of the match, but Brazil at this moment being very patient in possession. No rush. Paquetá, Guimarães, Cunha. Back to Paquetá it comes. He will try and switch it out to the right, and that one sails over the head of Danilo. And out for a Japan throw. Well, that can be the downfall of slow build-up play, is a miscued pass like that just really sucks the possession away and can get a little bit complacent. There's another genius in a World Cup, Ronaldinho. I mean, certainly not inconspicuous for the outfit, Ronaldinho. Paquetá. Danilo. Well closed off there by Daisen Maeda. Throw in to Brazil though. That's also crucial for Japan, just to disrupt Brazil. Brazil want a smooth, free-flowing game. It becomes a bit bitty and a bit stop-start. I think that does actually benefit Japan. Just breaking the rhythm of Brazil. There's Cunha breaking away there from Tomiyasu. Wanted the foul. Referee says no to a foul there on Matej Cunha. We'll have to see it again. So Sano on the cover. And Sano was beaten there. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, the referee said no, and we're going to have our hydration break, but a bit of a question mark as to how that wasn't a foul. After we saw the replay there, just kind of clattered him. The ball had already gone well past Sano. He come sliding in and just took out Matej Cunha, sorry. So it's essentially a quarter of the game down. No goals as of yet. Very few dangerous moments in front of goal for either team. Japan's best chances have come from set pieces, that free kick in the corner. Other than that, they've barely even been in the Brazilian half. It's been more about being defensively solid and resolute against a Brazilian side that has many a dangerous player up front. They've done a pretty decent job with it, Japan, so far, but it's about when they do get possession where they can try and be more threatening, because Brazil seem to have it all their own way at the moment. Just comfortable with the ball inside the Japanese half, and it's just about trying to disrupt that. saw that dangerous moment from Junior Ito to win the free kick a little earlier. Casemiro getting his yellow card. That's the replay that they're showing us at the moment. Carlo Ancelotti just reinforcing some tactical information, as well as Hajime Moriyasu. Quick look at the knockout bracket. Remember, the winner of this one will play the winner of Cote d'Ivoire Norway. That game will be live tomorrow, 6 o'clock kickoff in the UK tomorrow between Cote d'Ivoire and Norway. That's followed by France Sweden as well tomorrow evening. So 2 big games tomorrow. But of course, after this one, we have a battle between Germany and Paraguay at 9:30. Paraguay side who may be a bit of a surprise that they're into the knockouts, but of course with the new format, 32 teams progressing out of 48, so the chances were high. And Paraguay getting the results they needed to progress as a best third team. And we'll see them a little later on taking on the group winners in Germany. In high spirits, the fans inside Energy Stadium. Of course, one thing that you see at a World Cup that you don't usually see at many football games is, of course, the fans mixed together. Of course, it creates that unique atmosphere that usually you would see in certain sports in other countries, mostly in America, where you'd see the fans of both teams in play sitting together. A bit unique. Here's Junior Ito looking to cut it back. There was Ueda. It's going to be a corner to Japan. Gabriel with the 1v1 block to save behind for the corner. Opportunity for Japan to get the ball into the area. Only their second corner of the game. Their first wasn't the most dangerous towards Allison. Let's see what they'll do on this occasion. Duan to deliver. Right footed into the box. Header is on and over the bar from the centre forward there in Ayasu Ueda. Yeah, really good delivery, and Ueda got up. Maybe got a little bit of contact there from Danilo. He put him off. Feyenoord striker couldn't keep his header down. Of course, he scored twice and got an assist against Tunisia in the 4-0 win. Ayase Ueda. 3 goals of the tournaments for the Japanese striker. And for the international team, scored 18 international goals with the senior Japan team, including the 2 that he scored at this World Cup. Dexter says Brazil should win the World Cup. Andrew says, thank you for commentating. I'm listening while I work. Thank you very much for joining us. Arab says, it seems as Japan low block has done very well. Is it enough to beat Brazil? I don't think so. Japan isn't attacking much, and once they do, they don't get a shot on except for one set piece. You make a good point. But I think it's by design that Japan aren't attacking too much. I think they're just being patient, waiting for the right moments. Here's Junior Ito. Tight space, was outnumbered there. 2v1. Now the ball given away, an opportunity for Brazil to break, but that's a nice interception by Sano, and a brick here for Japan. Opportunity! What a goal! Into the bottom left corner from Sano. They were arrow sharp there, Japan. Beautiful. Brazil thought they were having the breakaway chance, and in the end it was going the opposite direction. Kaishu Sano puts an arrow into the hearts of Brazil, and a fabulous accurate finish into the bottom left corner. And that is the patience that Japan have been showing early in this game. The danger is there when they break, and they need to be clinical when they do. And that was clinical from Kaoimhan Ferris. See it here, Brazil think they're on the move. Danilo gets a little excited, plays the ball across midfield, and Sano just sneaks in, makes the interception, and they're outnumbered, Brazil, on the breakaway. They're trying to chase shadows, and Kaoimhan Ferris just charging up the middle like a samurai. And he arrows it into that bottom left corner. Full stretch, Allison couldn't keep it out. And look at the celebrations from Hajime Moriyasu. Japan take the lead, and the 5-time world champions are behind in the round of 32. And now that's set up a really exciting game now, because Brazil need to be more aggressive. They need to be quicker. But that is, I'm sure, what the neutral wants. You want to see the team that many expect to be just overcome over the 90 minutes in Japan. They're the underdogs in a sense coming into this game, but taking that early lead after barely having much possession and much of the game. Remember, that was their first shot on target, the first shot on target of the game. They've had just 26% possession, Japan. But Brazil, we called it patience early. Maybe it's a little bit of lack of energy, a bit lethargic from Brazil. Maybe they're being overly patient. So methodical. Nothing on the end of it for Brazil at the moment. Japan just making it so narrow, so tight, so congested in the middle. There isn't room for the midfielders to really get the game going for Brazil. We've already seen when Bruno Guimarães gets on the ball, that's where Brazil are looking the most threatening. Lucas Paquetá, when he gets on the ball too. It's going to be a foul here. Douglas Santos was brought down by Ritsu Doan. It's a little collision there, but I think Doan just slightly clipped the top of the foot of Douglas Santos. And it is going to be a foul to Brazil. Well, Brazil didn't have the most convincing qualification to the World Cup. They had to fight for their place at this World Cup, which is unusual for Brazil. Ended up finishing 5th in qualification behind Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia and Uruguay in their qualification group. See the whip ball in, the flick on is well off target there from Marquinhos. So they lost 6 of their 18 qualification games, only 8 wins for Brazil, conceding 17 goals in the process. Including a final qualification game defeat to Bolivia back in September, and Bolivia ended up getting a playoff place, or a qualification to the next stage of qualification, albeit Brazil were already confirmed as a team that would play in the World Cup by that point. But it was an unconvincing qualification stage from the 5-time world champions that's maybe given them a few question marks coming into this World Cup. And a defeat to Japan in October in a friendly, and Japan might be a little bit of a pain and a thorn in the side of Brazil. Takumi Minamino, Kito Nakamura and Ayase Ueda scored in the 3-2 win for Japan back in October over Brazil. Henrique and Martinelli are both on the bench for this game. They scored for Brazil in that defeat. They find themselves behind in this one, Brazil. Albeit the last time they did lose, Brazil, was against France back in March in a friendly. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, including 2 of their 3 World Cup group matches. See, the only game they haven't won in the last 6 was that opening group match to Morocco. They drew 1-1. Danilo with the cross. Bounces around, it's fed wide here. Vinicius Jr. onto his right, cuts it back, the shot. Charged down from Paquetá. Kept alive, Vinicius Jr. Trying to dribble his way through. Doan for company. And Ito drifting back, and Ritsu Doan makes the block. And now Junior Ito can try and trigger another counter from Japan. That's quickly closed up by Casemiro. And then the through ball by Paquetá towards Vinicius Jr. is majorly overhits. Well, Japan doing what they needed to there and get the ball away as we see this goal from Sano again. We saw it a little earlier from Brazil, or maybe it was a warning sign where they give away that free kick really early. A very similar situation when Japan broke up the middle. There just seemed to be so much space, and out of position, Brazil. They didn't seem to know how to defend the situation, and Casemiro, as I said, chasing shadows. Challenge there by Doan, sees it away from goal. Casemiro. Gabriel. Guimaraes. Paquetá. Clips it towards the box, headed away by Tomiyasu. Ito getting the brick of the ball, Ueda lays it wide to Junior Ito. Gabriel for company. Paquetá covering as well, and Paquetá gets the contact. That'll see it out for the throw. Yeah. Patience is a virtue, as they say. Japan were patient. They waited for their opportunity, and they struck while the iron was hot. And Brazil, a little bit blunt at the top end of the field early in this game. Shown 1 or 2, as I said already, some glimpses, but nothing too dangerous that Japan will be majorly concerned about so far. A long, long way to go. They'll try and hold on to a 1-goal lead against the Brazilian team, who can be free scoring when they want to be. Santos. Paquetá. Back to Marquinhos. This is what I mean. There's just not enough tempo in the play from Brazil. Really lethargic passing. Japan make it so congested. There's not enough movement for Brazil to drag them out of position, to create spaces, to open up those really tight areas, especially through the middle, where Brazil want a target. They want to cause their threat. At the minute, they're just being marked out of the game. Paquetá. Vinicius Jr. Again has to go back to Gabriel. I think you have to also make the point that they just need to be, I mean, it's easy to say they need to be quicker. If there's a shot from Reigns, that's an easy one for Zion Suzuki to catch. Cunha with the effort there. I mean, the space is wide for Brazil, and it baffles me that they're being overly patient to try and play through the middle when there's just no space. That they're just playing side-to-side passes, waiting for something to open up that's just not opening up. Play the ball wide, use the pace of Ryan or Vinicius Jr. in the wide areas, and drag Japan out of position. Because they're playing so narrow, Japan, that there's acres of space on either flank that they can try and use. Ryan. That's the square back across to Gabriel. Casemiro. Guimaraes. Danilo. Vinicius Jr. Trying to create the space in the middle. Casemiro with an awful first touch, and that's stolen away by Daisen Maeda. He was battling there, and he did really well there, Daisen Maeda, after he lost it. Control of the ball to make sure that he still won the throw-in. But again, I actually said it in the first game, and it baffles me why Carlo Ancelotti has continued to do this. He took Casemiro off in the first game, half-time against Morocco, and has played him in every game since in midfield. Now, granted, they beat Haiti and Scotland 3-0, but already in this game, he's got a yellow card, Casemiro. He's the man that left Sano to concede the goal. He left the space for the free kick earlier. He looks, I don't want to be disrespectful, but a little bit out of his depth. And that poor touch again, stolen away by Maeda, really shows that seems to be the weak link in the midfield. It looks a little bit too much for him. The pace of the game is too quick, even though it's dreadfully slow. That's the way Brazil are playing. Pockets up. Santos, Vinicius Jr., a little bit quicker there. Swung deep. That one is telegraphed into the palms of Zion Suzuki. We'll roll it out to Kito Nakamura. Hiroki Ito. Nakamura. Taniguchi. Squared across here to Takahiro Tomiyasu. Nice play into Daisen Maeda, picking up the pocket in the middle. Finding Junior Ito. Now out wide to Doan. Looking for options. Plays it back to Junior Ito. Not many up the field for Japan, but they cycle it round the back. Taniguchi to Daichi Kamada. On to Tomiyasu, who's calling for players to break forward. Ueda was trying to make a run. Option not taken. Ball down the line again to Doan. Cuts on the inside. Back to Tomiyasu. Now a bit of movement creates the space for Ito. Doan. Junior Ito breaking off him. Doan charging down the right flank. Has to spin back. A little bit of a Brazilian touch on that. They get a bit collided there. That's going to be a Japan throw. It's two Brazilian players clatter with each other in Casemiro and Vinicius Jr. It was actually Cunha, two Man United teammates, of course, formerly now because Casemiro was no longer at Man United, but I think they'd have a better chemistry than that. Just run into each other. Ito, Doan now. Back to Junior Ito. Goes for the cross into the box. Ueda was the target. Maeda was there too. Good work from Kamada to win it back. Now Hiroki Ito switching it round the back. That was cleared away by Gabriel. And Santos having to defend the back post. As we're into the last couple of minutes of the first half, Japan back on the front foot again. Doan. Short throw this time. Back to Ritsu Doan it comes. He's forced backwards. Nice little spin there on the ball from Tomiyasu. Inside here it comes to Sano. He's tackled a little late there, but the referee will play the advantage as Japan still have the ball. Kamada, Nakamura. Down the line to Maeda. Back to Kito Nakamura. Really sharp and intricate movement from Japan. Doan creating the width. Sano with a little 1-2 link up. Doan tried to feed it into the path of Kamada, but well won back by Maeda. Kamada. Now Hiroki Ito. Can Japan make this spell of possession count? Cause more problems for Brazil. Kamada. Maeda back to Daichi Kamada, looking for the switch. Junior Ito with a nice first touch, sets him up to charge at the defence. Cuts onto his left, has the shot blocked. And now they want to stop the counter there, Japan. That's going to be a yellow card for a late challenge there by Daichi Kamada. What you call a tactical foul, that one. And Bruno Guimaraes, the one on the end of the challenge from Kamada. Premier League midfielders, the two of them. As we're about to enter added time in the first half. Little did I think that by this point Brazil would look as hapless as they do. Say that at your peril, though. That's a dangerous ball into the box, and it will take a Paquetá heads that will see it behind for the goal kick. They wanted the corner there, Brazil. Goal kick given, as we will go into 4 added minutes. The end of this first half, that at the moment the upset is very much on. Maeda, Nakamura, Kamada to Daisen Maeda. Really strong end of the half here from Japan. Being patient with their movement. Hiroki Ito, wide to Nakamura. Looking for a way through, he has to reverse it. Back to Kamada. Taniguchi and Sano. Now Tomiyasu. Oh, that was far too overhit, that from Tomiyasu, and a bit wayward as well, the pass towards Ritsu Doan. Japanese captain leading his team at the moment to what would be an incredible first half performance, both in and out of possession from Japan. Header by Kamada is a little bit awkward. Tomiyasu follows that one up and helps out as Kamada finds it to Doan. Try to loop it down the right channel, but no one there for Japan to take advantage. They're singing loud, the Japanese fans, the louder of the two, inside NRG Stadium here in Houston. After the Brazilian fans were dancing at the hydration break. Maybe a little bit downcast as we head towards half time. They've seen it before over the last 2 decades where Brazil have fallen short. But this would be a new low if they were to fall short here. Still a long, long way to go, but question marks will have to be asked at half time if it does be the scoreline as it is. Gabriel Paquetá on the half turn. Stolen and looped away by Taniguchi. First side of the ball, decided to launch it. Santos. Samuel with the switch. Danilo now on the right hand side, back inside to Marquinhos. Swings an early ball in. Off the head of Matej Cunha and hooked away by Junior Ito. That's 30 seconds of the first half as there's a Brazilian player down in the left. It's Paquetá that's down in just on the edge of the box. Japan have the possession. Hooked forward by Nakamura. Flicked on there, an opportunity for a way to in behind. It was just well measured by Marquinhos and had the help of Gabriel there. Well, it was Lucas Paquetá. He's hobbling back to his feet. And that's not a good sign for Brazil heading into the half. That's the least of their problems because the whistle goes. And after a first half where they've been very ponderous in possession, Brazil, at the moment they are halfway to an early exit out of the World Cup. Japan's samurai through midfields. Insano arrowing into the corner of the nets, giving the Japanese a half-time lead in this round of 32 clash. And at the moment, they would be on course for the upset against the 5-time world champions. Half-time, it's Brazil 0, Japan 1. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Race again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to World Cup 2026. Half-time, it is Brazil 0, Japan 1 in the game in Houston. Caoimhan's goal, the difference between the two sides at the break. Brazil have some work to do, really, and some thinking to do for Carlo Ancelotti at half-time after what was a pretty poor first half, really, from Brazil. Lacking really any real cutting edge or energy or in vision in the team. It just looks a little bit same. They're recycling the possession so much that, I mean, they'd have a good eco record anyway, certainly, that much recycling of the possession in the first half. They really didn't have much cutting edge or much dangerous threat. I think Japan will go in at half-time and think, yeah, we done pretty well there. Not only in possession, when they had the chance to score, but out of possession, they've been so solid, so kind of stubborn defensively, and it's really, really impressive to this point. But it's on Brazil to make the difference. It's on Brazil to do something different. And right now, it's on Brazil to try and turn this game around, because after that first half performance, I do expect changes, I do expect alterations. I don't expect Carlo Ancelotti to come out with an unchanged team for the second half, and if I do, it will be a bit of a shock, in my opinion. But they need to be quicker. Far too slow in possession. And Japan are sitting compact in that narrow block, in that low block, staying narrow, staying compact, and engaging in moments. But with that real rigid defence, Brazil are moving it far too slow to get anybody out of position, to move anybody into awkward places. And it's just pretty simple for them to just shuffle across and defend when they need to, and have the options there to cover. It's just not that cutting-edge threat from Brazil so far. But again, long way to go. And I expect changes for the second half from Brazil. A reminder for you of what's to come a little later on tonight. Another round of 32 match sees Germany take on Paraguay in Boston. A Germany side who topped their group and now have the chance to put to the sword another South American side in Paraguay, who finished as a third-place team in their group, of course. In USA's group, in Group D, they progressed in an unexpected fashion, you got to say, after that opening game defeat to the USA. They turned it around, Paraguay, and secured their knockout place. That's at 9:30 tonight. And remember, there is a bit of a delay to the start of that game, because this game could possibly go to extra time and penalties. Therefore, they have to stagger the start of the next game. So we'll be live at 9:30 kickoff for that one between Germany and Paraguay. But A huge second half here in Houston where we could see our first real major shock of the tournament. And probably one of the best results in Japanese football history. Half time, they're leading Brazil by a goal to nil. Welcome back to World Cup 2026 halftime. It is Japan who lead Brazil by a goal to nil. They'll be just emerging for the second half in just a moment. A reminder for you, South Africa were beaten by Canada by a goal to nil last night. A 92nd minute winner from Stefan Eustáquio lifted it for Canada and secured their place into the round of 16. Their first ever knockout game. And they win to get them off the mark, and the co-hosts will continue into the last 16. So a bit of pressure on the other two now in Mexico and the USA to follow suit, and South Africa the first to be eliminated at the knockout stages after what was a pretty lackluster performance really from South Africa. And Canada deserved it, you have to say, overall. One down and quite a few to come. 15 matches to go, 14 after this one. And right now, as I said, we're on course for what will be one of the biggest upsets of the tournament. And maybe, as I said, one of the best, if not the best result in Japanese football history. In that they could possibly see off the 5-time world champions Brazil in the round of 32. Of course, they have been a little bit of a dark horse right the way throughout the tournament in that no one really expects them to go to the latter stages, Japan. They might make a really late run. And they'll have to defeat and slay one of the giants. And they're making some body blows at the moment. And the Samurai Blues are having their enjoyable time out there. And as they do emerge for the second half, looks like Endrick is going to be coming on for Brazil. Expected changes to be made. Maybe it's Lucas Paquetá that's had an issue. Remember, he was down at the end of the first half. So Paquetá maybe is the one that's coming off. Hendrick is the one coming on here for Brazil. So I think Hendrick is coming on for Paquetá. That is the change for Brazil. So surprisingly, Casemiro stays on, which is a bit of a surprise to many. Let's see if the energy of Hendrick can make the difference here for Brazil. They need an injection of something different, and maybe it's a bit of teenage magic from Hendrick to make the difference. Japan to get us underway as the countdown is on. And we are off and running for the second half. 45 minutes, possibly more if necessary, to see whether Japan can carry this result through and claim a famous giant killing in the World Cup. I can't be sloppy like that, and cheap giveaway there from Kamada right from the off. Cunha to Ryan, he's gone more central. Out to the left of Vinicius Jr. Swings it in early, and that one far too close to Suzuki, who makes the clean grab down to his left-hand side. And one thing that Brazil didn't do enough was those aggressive, direct runs at the defence, charging at the Japanese defence. That's a lovely hold-up from Ueda from the long Suzuki clearance. Down the left-hand side they come. Opportunity here for Nakamura, trying to reverse it, he'll get another go. Ito whips it into the box, bounces down for Doan, who's seen away there by Douglas Santos. And that is guided out of play by Tomiyasu for the throw-in. We know Brazil, historically, as I already said, have major success. But not for a good generation or two. Ueda, is there actually going to be a foul against Japan here? The referee was going to let it play on, but has decided to give the free kick to Brazil. Calling for calm, the Italian referee. Gabriel. Santos down the left-hand side. Vinicius Jr. drifts infield, swings it into the box. Dangerous ball there. Hendrick was the target. Cleared away by Dyson Maeda, who's riding the challenge as well as it gets to the halfway line and is hacked down there by Danilo. That's going to be a yellow card and a free kick for Japan. I have to say they've got blistering pace on the counter. Dyson Maeda there, not just the pace, but the real physicality and the balance that he has just to evade pressures. So evasive. Sano. Back to Taniguchi. Ito. Nakamura. Well, Japan ended that first half strongly. Could have been further ahead with the play that they were creating and building the momentum towards the end of the half. Sano. Oof, almost caught there by Vinicius Jr. Heavy touch by Tomiyasu. Make sure that that one is cleaned away. Will be a Brazilian throw. Actually, might be a Japan throw. Tesh Cunha might have had the last touch there. As he's given the free kick. And Neymar in the warm-up. Will we see him before the end of this game? And what could have been his, what could be, more than likely his final World Cup. Maybe it could be his final World Cup ever appearance. If this doesn't go right for Brazil towards the end. That was an attempt from Hendrick. Certainly has made the difference since coming on, Hendrick, when he has got into those isolated positions, what 1v1. Try and send a second man over and it creates that that exposure in behind for Vinicius Jr. to break. Here's Dyson Maeda. A run from the midfield there. Junior Ito making the inside run, but that was cleared away. Taken in by Daichi Kamada. To Doan. Can find the runner as Doan does recycle back to Daichi Kamada. Not only have they been strong out of possession, Japan, when they have had the ball, they've looked bright, they've looked sharp. And definitely looked dangerous. It's about trying to find that balance in the second half. By being aggressive and still being front-footed, but also being extremely cautious at the back end, that they don't give up too much space to Brazil for them to expose you. Because when you give Brazil space, they will punish. Challenge there by Tomiyasu as Vinicius Jr. was being played in. Here he is again. Doan for cover. Good challenge by Doan, but Vinicius Jr. will keep the ball to the byline. Finds it back to Bruno Guimaraes. Square to Gabriel. Now Guimaraes again. Bodies in the box here for Brazil if he can find one of them. Goes short. Casemiro. Now Marquinhos. Out to the right hand side for Danilo. Casemiro. Gabriel now. Launches into the box, headed away by Hiroki Ito. When we talk about Brazil's performances at World Cups over the last 24 years since they were champions back in 2002, and they beat Germany in the final. In Japan, actually, that was. a link up that is, that in the Korea-Japan edition of the tournaments. Ball into the box here, header! Great save by Suzuki. Fabulous reactions from the Japanese goalkeeper. It was Bruno Guimaraes. And Zion Suzuki with a wonderful stop. Again, it's the early cross from Danilo, just clipped into the box. Guimaraes gets in front of his man. Free header, and Zion Suzuki pushes and parries it away. Building the tempo now, Brazil. Into the box, change of angle. It's just Junior was making the run, but cut out by Junior Ito. He was dispossessed. Gabriel. Guimaraes, much sharper, much quicker Brazil now. Moving the ball with much more tempo and speed. Vinicius Junior goes 1v1, guides it back into the box. A little bit awkward as Ito could clear it away. Japan under the cosh a little bit now. Marquinhos. And Gabriel. Right to the left it comes. Santos, early cross, headed away by Taniguchi. Header further cleared by Junior Ito, but into the path of Vinicius Junior. Brazil recycling the ball, but recycling with an intention to get it back into the box. Switch ball there from Ryan, headed back across and off the line. How did that not go in? And now it's a 5v3 for Japan. On the breakaway, Ito down the right hand side. He's got many an option. Pings it round the back. Nakamura guides it across, deflected. That one will go behind for the corner, but how have Japan kept this out of their own nets? Goodness me. Great ball in by Ryan. Headed back across and diving at for the header was Casemiro. I think it's Tomiyasu with the stop on the line. Suzuki was there too to make an impact on the rebound. And then it's palmed away and hooked clear. Goodness me. Well, that is as close as Brazil have come. Goal line clearance from Japan to keep a hold of this lead. And they were almost on the charge for a second there, right off the back of it. A 5v3. They didn't make the utmost out of it, but my goodness, that was as dangerous as Brazil have been. Ryan again. Another cross. Guimaraes this time. No one there in yellow. So Doan clears under pressure. They've done well. Brazil's coming out in the second half. They've made it really difficult for Japan to find an out ball, to find an option to carry it forward, to really relieve the pressure. Such sustained pressing from Brazil, squeezing Japan, suffocating them. A complete chalk and cheese from the first half in comparison. Vinicius Junior cuts it back. Gabriel will try and ping it round the back. The header across! It's fired in by Casemiro. Question marks as to why he was still on the pitch at the start of the second half. Well, that is why. Belief in Casemiro. And Casemiro heads it in. Brazil have had the pressure, and Brazil have their leveller. Only what they've deserved after they've come out like a house on fire in this second half. What a response from Brazil. We knew they weren't going to go down without a fight. And Casemiro with the leveller. You have to say they've done really well with those early crosses. Whip balls into the box. Getting it in the mixer. And Casemiro. Beautiful ball in. Dominant, commanding header. We've seen it so many times from Man United over the season just past. And too high for Suzuki to get his hand to it. 1-1. Game on. And some can't contain the emotions. completely transformed Brazil from the first to the second half. Transformative. Now they restart on a level footing. That momentum is with Brazil, you would say. What will it do to Japan? Will it entice them to be even more aggressive? Some of the question marks over Japan is maybe in those games where it has been tight, where it has been close, they've just been a little bit reservatory, a little bit conservative. I mean, no one will be criticising them for being trying to be defensively solid in this one, as they've given it away there, Brazil. Tyson Maeda went down wanting a foul. Referee waved it away as nothing more than a fair challenge. And now Brazil with a bit of space. Oh, lovely from Vinicius Jr. Through the legs of Tomiyasu. Vinicius Jr. dribbling his way through. Pokes it off the post. Oh my goodness. It was inches away from an absolute stunner there, Vinicius Jr. That was touch of class. I mean, he starts with a nutmeg of Tomiyasu, and then just the footwork, dribbling his way towards the goal, and little nonchalant flick with the outside of his right boot off the hand of Suzuki, who makes the key touch to take it onto the post. Crucial intervention, but he was inches away from an absolute wonder goal there. Vinicius Jr., all of his own creation. And Brazil are certainly firing on all cylinders now. It took them a while to get going. They even had to go behind to be shown what the danger is if you don't raise your level. Now they could be under threat in behind here. Charged by Marquinhos, doesn't win the battle. Good hold up there by Ueda. Now Doan onto his left. Back to Ueda on the spin. He tried to carry it through. He run into Brazilian defence. That time it was Gabriel with the block. Yeah. It's Hiroki Ito that plays Casemiro on, and you think, so deep inside their own 6-yard box, and we knew that would be the problems that Brazil would cause. They would force them so deep. If they did get pressure on, they have been completely transformed in this second half, Brazil. But defensively, one or two little glimpses that the Japan aren't out of this game just yet, although that's going to be a handball on Ueda. That's the second time Ayase Ueda has tried to use his hand to take control of the ball. Well, they're truly up against it now, Japan. You have to say, majorly so. Albeit the game's still level with over 30 minutes to play. And Brazil are finally showing their Samba-like moves. Casemiro trying to be incisive there. Just overhit the pass. Right idea. It's not the greatest of executions. And one thing they've been able to do in this second half, Brazil, that they weren't doing anywhere near enough, is get Zion Suzuki making saves, trying to stop and getting him involved in the game and testing him. 2 shots on target in the first half, already 4 in the second. Not as ponderous or as lethargic in possession as they were in the first. It was desperately slow. Someone's given them an energy boost at half-time. Someone's changed the batteries of Brazil. Oh, Ueda holds it up there. Maeda's in behind, and that one will just clip into the hands of Alisson. before Daisa Maeda could get anywhere near it on the second occasion. Well, they will be wary, Brazil, that with so much of the pressure they will push on Japan, they need to be careful of the possible counter-attacking threat. Seen it a little earlier, just before they'd scored, where it was a 5-on-3 for Japan. That's where Brazil need to be careful when they do push so many forward, but right now they have to go all out attack to try and win the game. Was Alisson far too ponderous there? Almost caught in possession by the pressing Ueda. Lovely touch there by Caoimhan Santos. Now Vinicius Jr. all on the move now, Brazil. Nice turn away from his marker there, Casemiro. Danilo. Down the right, little 1-2. Ryan charging into the box, cuts back onto his left, evades the pressure, really good touch. Cunha, wide to Ryan. Again trying to work the angle, clips it back across and into the hands of Suzuki. But again, much more incisive from Brazil. Runners off the ball. Change of direction, change of idea. Just switching things, keeping Japan guessing, keeping them moving. And at such a speed that it is at times almost impossible to defend. And there's so much opposite movement. It just causes so much defensive confusion. Whether it be a back four, back five, whatever. When you've got the individual quality, they start to show it. That's when you start to worry as a team who are sitting back and sitting deeper and defending. And that's nice hold up there. And Ueda's breaking in behind. He's carried out to the left. Brazil have ample bodies back. Ueda's going to shoot at Alisson, who took the pace of it and then made the catch the second time, Alisson, but he tried to go all power with that one, Ayasu Ueda. More of a hit and hope type of attempt. Clipped under the leg of Casemiro there, who was back defending. Japan can still use those runners in behind to try and exploit some of the frailties that Brazil still have defensively, but need to be clinical in those moments when they do carry it forward, Japan. Gabriel out to the left for Vinicius Jr. Gabriel again. Square to Casemiro. Marquinhos. Out to the right for Ryan. On to his left. Back to Guimaraes. Now Gabriel. Now to the left for Vinicius Jr. Reverse pass. Santos on the underlap. Cutback was blocked by Sano. Seen away for the throw. A very different game for Hajime Moriyasu's team now. And we're going to see Gabriel Martinelli. He's going to replace Matej Cunha. So interesting to see what Brazil do from this sort of situation. Japan are also going to make some changes. Going to see Kito Nakamura and Ritsu Doan coming off to the two wing backs off the field, and Yukinari Sugawara and Junosuke Suzuki are on. So Junosuke Suzuki and Yukinari Sugawara on to replace Doan and Nakamura. Fresh legs in the wing-back positions for Japan, where they feel they can have their threats. And also to try and fend off the Brazilian threat, crucially. Martinelli linking things up down the left here, just on the field. Squares it to Danilo. Right down the right for Ryan. Takes on his man just on the field. Cut back into the box. Cleared away that time by Sano. It's been all Brazil. Japan with one or two little breakaway chances, but few and far between in this second half. It looks much more comfortable, Brazil. Much more settled. Here's Ryan. Onto his left, trying to swing it in. Blocked by Kamada. Header in the air is a little bit wayward there from... that was Danilo. That's helped out. And taken in by Gabriel. Well, our Japan on the road to a very difficult end to this game. Can they spin it back in their favour? Or will it continue to be a Brazilian onslaught? We will have the hydration break for the moment, so they'll have a chance to adjust things, make some alterations, Japan, and try and figure things out. It was nice from Tomiyasu against Endrick. He's getting physical. Endrick, who's gone as kind of the auxiliary centre forward. A reminder for you, another knockout game to come a little later. Germany against Paraguay in the round of 32. That's a 9:30 kickoff in that one in Boston. And that is our feature game later this evening. Tomorrow another double header for you of knockout action. Sees Cote d'Ivoire take on Norway at 6 tomorrow, followed by France-Sweden at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And then on Wednesday, another double header for you as England take on DR Congo and Belgium face Senegal. Lots and lots of action. Of course, the knockout stages will continue till late on the round of 32 will continue till late on Friday night. And then the round of 16 gets underway the next day on the 4th of July. As Canada open the round of 16 against either Netherlands or Morocco on Saturday. So a quick turnaround from now. As the game and the tournament becomes much more congested. But I think it's been a complete change of approach from Brazil in this second half. Much sharper, much quicker. Reverse runs, change of direction, taking men on, being much, much sharper in the final third, and just quicker. Sometimes it's just as simple as move the ball quicker, and you can just unsettle a team. They were playing it at much to a pedestrian pace in the first half, Brazil, to really cause Japan any real problems, either 1v1 or as a collective. And we've seen such a difference in the second half where they have been able to get difference makers on the ball in the likes of Vinicius Jr. and Ryan in the wide areas, and then use the space that's created by the midfield to really suffocate Japan. Really, really strong from Brazil in the second half. But the one thing you can say, though, is Japan have kept themselves in the game. They haven't completely fallen away. And with 20 minutes or so to see if either one of these two teams can snatch a winner. It's all about this hydration break. Just, well, one, rehydrating, but also both head coaches trying to reassure their teams and just to reaffirm the message. Hajime Moriyasu's team certainly under more pressure, and their character will be tested. For Carlo Ancelotti, he has the start and the firepower and the stars in the team to make the difference. Now they need to go and do it. So far they have looked stronger in the second half. As we get back underway. Transformative from Casemiro, you gotta say, who Certainly, I will not shy away from it. I was calling for him to be substituted at half-time because he was awful on the ball, and Brazil, he was the one that was giving the ball away. He was the one that was just looking exposed in that midfield, and they've altered things. Made the difference as Junior Ito there in a tussle with Gabriel Martinelli. Going to be given the foul. Japan will quickly take it as it comes down the left here. Sugawara. Kamada. Nice play from Taniguchi, finding Junior Ito on this right-hand side. Sano. On the same page there as Ueda. Pressure from Maeda around the back though as Casemiro had the possession. Now here's Danilo. Guimaraes. That's lovely work across the midfield, out to the left now for Vinicius Junior, who's driving back on his right foot and tries to angle one across goal. That was deflected and cleared away by Japan. Santos. Martinelli. Well, it is crucial. Japan conceded because they were so deep in their box. Last man right inside the line of a 6-yard area. They need to stay strong. They need to stay rigid. Another whip ball. Back post! The header is deflected, I think, for the corner. It is. It was Ryan with the header. Corner to Brazil. Again, it's another one of those crosses from that little half space in the left channel. It's just lofted round the back and so dangerous. That's where the goal came from for Brazil. They've got a corner out of this opportunity. Seven in the box for Brazil. Everybody back for Japan. Swung in, didn't beat the first man, and Ito, Junior Ito, who cleared it. Wait for a Brazil throw just inside the Japanese half. Got a good distance on that, Junior Ito, with the clearance. Well, Brazil's last defeat in 90 minutes was in the 2022 World Cup, where they lost to Cameroon in their third group game. Of course, they were knocked out by Croatia in the quarterfinals 3.5 years ago in Qatar. Neymar scored in that game. They lost on penalties. It's the quarterfinals that have seen Brazil exit in the last two tournaments. The hands of Belgium and Croatia on those two occasions. Of course, when they hosted the tournament back in 2014, they got all the way to finishing third, or finishing fourth, shall I say. They lost 7-1 in that mad semi-final against Germany, who went on to win the tournament, but it has been the curse of the quarterfinals in every tournament other than that in the last 5 since they were the champions. Quarterfinal exits in 4 of the last 5 World Cups for Brazil. This one would be as early an exit as they would ever have in a knockout stage, because it's the earliest knockout stage game they've ever played for all teams in the tournament, obviously. The last time they were knocked out at the first round of a knockout in the World Cup was against Argentina in the round of 16 back in 1990. They lost 1-0 in that game, and they also played Scotland in their final group game of the Italia 90. Whether history is repeating itself there or not. Flick round the corner from Hendrik. Far too much for Gabriel Martinelli to get on the end of. Well, for Japan, as I said, I mean, this would go down as one of the most historic results if they were to cause a shock to Brazil. Certainly in Japanese international football, but they're a team that in the World Cup they often give a good fight, you have to say. They beat Germany and Spain in the World Cup in 22. They good results out of Netherlands and Sweden this time around. Well, is there another giant scalping on the cards for Japan, who've reached the round of 16 in 3 of their last 4 World Cups, only failing to reach the round of 16 when they failed to get out of the group in Brazil in 2014. They were knocked out in each of those round of 16 matches, though. Paraguay on penalties, Belgium in normal time, and Croatia on penalties in 22. That game ended 1-1 against Croatia 3.5 years ago. So they're going to make another change here, Japan. They're going to see Daichi Kamada coming off, and Ao Tanaka is going to be coming on. Leeds midfielder coming in. We're also going to see the introduction of Junior Ito's been taken off, and Shuto Machino is on. So Machino and Tanaka on, replacing Junior Ito and Daichi Kamada. More alterations for Japan. Getting to the stage of the game where a goal now could possibly be the winning one. "12 minutes of normal time. Brazil 1, Japan 1 here in Houston. Came ever so close to extra time last night before that late winner for Canada secured their spot in the round of 16. Will we have some more late drama here in this one? Long ball forward for Brazil. Ryan making the run round the back, but felt he was fouled. Not enough for the referee to be convinced that he was fouled there. It's kind of eased off the ball by Hiroki Ito. Just over 68,000 have filled this stadium. And a stadium that holds just over 68,000. It's almost full capacity. And why wouldn't you want to enjoy this one? I mean, it's a glorious match to witness. At the moment, could be one for a glorious ending. Real good tussle down that left as Japan who emerge with the ball with Maeda. Pressure there on Suzuki. Junosuke Suzuki winning the throw. It's just been a little bit more open from Japan in the second half. They've been exposed more, and they've just not been as sharp through the middle to cause major problems to Brazil like they were in moments in that first half. But if they can pull this off in an unexpected fashion, it would be historic, to say the very least. Danilo all the way back here to Marquinhos. Gabriel into the last 10 minutes of normal time. Still all square between Brazil and Japan. Here's Vinicius Jr. Can't break past his defender in Sugawara, who was back defending and hooked it clear. Away to the only man up there for Japan at the moment. 5-4-1 they've dropped into here, Japan. Just trying to create as much solidity between the lines as they can and try and limit Brazil through the middle like they did in the first half so well. And the threat from the wide positions weren't there in the first half. They're certainly here in the second. Santos with a deep ball in, headed away by Suzuki. And it's constant pressure again from Brazil. Japan are Just trying to block them away, as that's a commanding header there from Taniguchi. Again, no out ball for Japan to try and carry themselves up the pitch and relieve this pressure. It's constantly being posed by Carlo Ancelotti's side now. Martinelli, Santos, Vinicius Jr. Going for the switch. Swung it out to the far side. Danilo takes it back into the path of Marquinhos. Now Danilo again. Ooh, a little bit loose there. Giving it to Bruno Guimaraes. Not punched upon though, not punished for that. Gabriel. Santos. Martinelli. He will go for the early cross. That one will sail its way through and behind for a goal kick. You can see, you can feel, you can sense the angst, the anxiety in the Japanese defence, that they want to drop so deep to make sure there's no runners in behind us, make sure they're not giving up space to Brazil. But inadvertently they're giving more space to Brazil by dropping so deep. And it's incredibly difficult when you're trying to hang on to not drop as deep as you can, but it's crucial that they keep this game as tight and as compact as they can and not stretch it between the lines. Not allow Brazil to have those spaces in the interchange areas. As there's going to be a free kick here, as Junichiro Suzuki is going to be given a yellow card for his challenge there. It's going to be a free kick to Brazil. Yeah. Challenge on Danilo. Yeah, nothing on the ball there, just a sliding challenge. Bit of a cynical one from Junichiro Suzuki. An opportunity for Brazil to deliver here. Well, crosses have caused some major problems to Japan in this second half. Brazil have been majorly dangerous in those situations. And what can they do from this sort of range, from this sort of position, to try and test Zion Suzuki's goal again? They've got a wonderful deliverer of a ball in Bruno Guimaraes. It's going to be whipped in and glanced onto the near post. We'll take a deflection, so it will be a corner to Brazil. Danilo from Ryan's cross. Looked, it was going to be Guimaraes. He just stepped away, allowed Ryan to dart it across the box and flicked behind for the corner. That's the target in there. Ryan, the man trying to find his teammates. Find the right head. Left-footed delivery a bit low. Flicked on at the front post. Bounces away from the head of Daisen Maeda. Vinicius Jr. carries it back into the box. Down the left. Cuts back onto his right. Guides it to the edge. Flicked round the back. And that one's overhit by Bruno Guimaraes. Goal kick. Gabriel Martinelli's down holding his left eye here. I think he was collided into, or it's just a collision with Daisen Maeda. It's definitely not a foul or any of the sort, but a painful one for Martinelli. Just an inadvertent collision between the two there, both going for the ball. Martinelli saying he was elbowed, but definitely not. Well, the closer we get to the final whistle, or 90 minutes anyway, seems to be Japan look to be, certainly in terms of their fans, the happier. Brazil seem a little bit frustrated at the moment. This game is not done and dusted, and it's still hanging in the balance here in Houston. Remember, extra time and penalties would be the route to finding a winner if we need that. That was good hold up there down the right from Sugawara. Fed ball in behind. Maeda making the run. Holds it up here for Sugawara. Back inside now to Sano. Opened the scoring for Japan so early in that first half. Swung in from the rights. Cleared away by Casemiro, but picked back up as Taniguchi carried it forward, but given away a little bit loose from Ao Tanaka in the middle. And now they want to spring away Brazil, but Suzuki come flying out the traps there. And out for the throw-in. Rare foray forward for Japan in this second half, you have to say. Not much to really danger and test Allison on that sort of situation. That's where they need to be when they do get forward, Japan, if they will have one or two more chances before the end of the 90. When they get into the final third, they just need to have a go. Need to try and find that chance, create that effort, that opportunity to be clinical like they were in the first half. It is going to be incredibly difficult to try and fend off what has been a destructive Brazilian team. A dominant side in the second as Suzuki again on a yellow card, has to be careful as he shoved his opponent to the ground there in Ryan. Another free kick opportunity then for Brazil here. 2 minutes or so to go of the 90. Swung in with the right boot of Guimaraes. Suzuki claiming got it away. Edge of the area, it will be fine. Vinicius Jr. with the space there, trying to close it down, and it took a deflection as he tried to curl it to the far corner. It's closed down, bodies on the line from Japan on the edge of their box. Behind for the corner. Racking up the corners now, Brazil. Goes short from the corner now. Working the angles, it swung him with the left boot. Headed across with real venom from Gabriel, but well away from the target. Danilo finding Vinicius Jr. back onto his right, then onto his left. Almost scored a wonder goal already in this game. He's trying to dribble his way past the man and ends up running into Ao Tanaka, who picks the pocket of Vinicius Jr., but then he wins it right back. The Real Madrid man. And that's going to be a free kick to Brazil as Vinicius Jr. was fouled. Whips it in early here, Vinicius Jr., but that one is easy into the hands of Suzuki. He tries to create a counter-attacking opportunity. Switch ball here, look at the space down the right. It's Sugawara. Skips away from the first challenge. Clips it in with a cross, bouncing. Cleared away, only as far as Tanaka. Guimaraes with the clearance. As now Brazil on the back foot a little bit here as we edge towards 90 minutes. Suzuki down the left. Drifting into the box, trying to ping it across. Cleared away by Marquinhos. Out for the Japanese throw on the far left-hand side. A rare bit of pressure for Japan on Brazil. 6 added minutes. Although Casemiro is down for the moment, so the referee will just stop the game to allow him to receive some treatment. He's down in his own box. Well, he's had his contribution to level the game. They might want to make an alteration here. Fabinho is stripped and ready to come on. So straight swap in midfield. Fabinho for Casemiro. Reminder for you, Germany against Paraguay is our later offering in our double header of knockout action in the World Cup this evening. That's a 9:30 kickoff. Of course, as it stands right now, we're going for an extra 30 minutes or even more in this game. Right now is going to make that change. Brazil. Casemiro will be the one coming off. And Fabinho will be the one coming on. Already a minute and a half into the 6 added, so that will be added on top of the 6. Of course. And if there is no winner, more could be afoot here. It's to be like a groin issue for Casemiro. That's what it seems to be there. As I said, he's already had his contribution to what would be keeping Brazil in this tie right now. And Fabinho on in his place in added time. Well, this game in the balance as we edge to the final few minutes of normal time. Japan with the possession. They will get it back with the throw. They were applying some rare pressure on the Brazilian defence. It's a way to try to use his body to spin in behind. That was guided back. The Brazilian defence as Ryan tries to exploit. Bit of space here. Hendrick trying to evade a couple in his way. Hendrick still forced down the line, and that one is slid behind for the corner by Taniguchi, who was not going to be beaten there by Hendrick. Determined from Shogo Taniguchi to force it behind for the corner. Just shows again, though, the danger that Brazil have if Japan give it away in the middle. Blistering pace that they have to create such dangerous opportunities in behind. Another corner. Right-footed, lofted into the box. A lot of height on that as Fabinho gets his head to it, but that is miles off targets. As Casemiro watches on now. Suzuki will launch this one for Japan. Good confident header by Gabriel. It's flicked round the corner from Tanaka. Tried to be taken in there by Sano, but that was dispossessed. He was dispossessed, shall I say. Marquinhos, now to Fabinho. Santos. Gabriel, now to Marquinhos. About 3 minutes, you would say, still on the clock here. With that stoppage for Casemiro to receive treatment before he came off, that was in added time, so that will be added on top of the minimum of 6 that was initially indicated. Santos, Gabriel. Is there one chance for Brazil? Patience there down the right. They work it nicely. Edge of the area. Opportunity to exploit, but Tanaka quickly on the scene to win it back, and then he is dispossessed. And now a chance for Bruno Guimaraes. Feeds it through. Martinelli finds the inside of the post. And Brazil have their late hero in Houston. Absolutely wonderful. Patience turns into power. Turns into a possible winner for Brazil. In the 96th minute, Gabriel Martinelli finds a way past Suzuki. And Brazil might have just edged out Japan right at the death here. Incredible. A transformative half from Brazil. And they might have just snatched it at the end. Such patience. Such composure. Beautifully done. Guimaraes, you think's going to shoot. He decides to pass it into Gabriel Martinelli's path, who is composed when he gets to the ball. And he just tucks it with the inside of his right boot off the inside of the right post. Past Suzuki. And Brazil break heart for Japan, but deliver some South American Samban magic. Brazil 2, Japan 1. And that is the inspiration that Brazil needed. My goodness. Heartbreak for Japan, though, who've been absolutely excellent right the way through. But is it going to come down to individual quality that will make the ultimate difference? As Daisen Maeda is off, going to see Koki Ogawa on. Also going to see Danilo Santos coming on for Brazil as well here in the dying embers. So alterations and changes being made as Guimarães with the key moment, the assist for what looks like to be the winning goal for Brazil. The team steeped in World Cup history, who are at this moment in time creating another special moment in this tournament for the world's most successful country. Japan might have one last go, might have one last chance. And they're not going to get the throw in there. That's going to be a Brazil throw. Well, he will watch on, Neymar. And it doesn't look like it will be the end of the road for him or Brazil here, after it looked quite glum and dismal at half-time. But you gotta say, it is going to be another heartbreaking end for Japan. They show up, they always perform, they always give their utmost. And it's going to be a heartbreaking end for Hajime Moriyasu's team. They took the lead early. We're setting up for the shock. But that's a game of two halves. Brazil were outfought, outworked, outthought in the first half. But they changed something at the break. And they have come out completely different from the first half. Completely alien from the first and second halves. As Ueda is going to be deemed to have committed a foul there. It's going to be frustration once again for Japan. Free kick to Brazil, 100th minute of this game. Time is surely up. R9 watches on. He said it was going to be a walk in the park for Brazil against Japan. Well, it's been quite a stumble in the park for Brazil, but they're going to find the exit and the route to the last 16 is going to emerge for them, unless there is one last gasp chance for Japan here. Launch forward by Suzuki. It's now or never. They have to find it now. Launch to the edge of the box. A flick on. Danilo Santos, should clear this. It's one back quickly and then hooked away by Brazil. Every chance they got on the ball there, they hooked it clear. Well, it's actually going to be a Brazil throw. Referee. Oh, they're actually going to. Yeah, they're giving a or Japan the throw, but it's much deeper than they initially thought. Launched towards the area. Cleared away by Brazil. That was that. It's a comeback for Brazil, who once again get the job done, who find a way under Carlo Ancelotti. At half-time, they were staring down the barrel of one of the biggest, one of the most shocking upsets in the World Cup at this tournament. Moriyasu's side were certainly the better team, but Brazil come out and showed their class, showed their quality, and showed why they might have a chance at going the distance this time around. Casemiro with a leveller and Gabriel Martinelli with a late winner. That's back-to-back knockout games with late drama in this World Cup as Brazil and Canada both progress. But tears of heartache and pain for Japan, who fought so hard, who worked so hard, who took the lead against Brazil in this game. But it didn't last. And in the end, the quality of Brazil was what shone through. But you gotta say, they should be immensely proud of their team, those Japanese fans. They gave their all, they fought to the very death. Ultimately, not to a winning finish. But that's what the World Cup can do to you. That's the harsh realities of football sometimes. Sometimes you don't get what you deserve. And in the end, they probably deserve to at least take it to extra time after their performance. But nonetheless, it is a late winner for Brazil that sends them through and sends Japan home. Final score, Brazil 2, Japan 1. But what a turnaround for Brazil. Absolutely sensational. And the true raw emotions of each of these Japanese players. Heartbreaking to watch, but being consoled by the Brazilian players, which is really nice to see. Really, really nice to see. One of the most emotional, Ayo Tanaka there for Japan. It's shock. They're stunned. And can you blame them? Is it a surprise? Not really. Because they fought, and maybe just the slimmest, the finest of beliefs that maybe they could do it. Maybe this was their chance. Brazil were patient, late. They didn't rush it. And they knew that it was going to come. They felt it. And they were right to feel it. Gabriel Martinelli with the wonderful finish to give Brazil their spot in the last 16. So, that is 2 down. And still another 14 games to come to see who will make up the last 16 in this World Cup. Brazil and Canada both have progressed. There is where they sit. Brazil will face either Cote d'Ivoire or Norway. Whoever wins that one tomorrow will be Brazil's opponents in the round of 16. Canada will face either Netherlands or Morocco. Next, though, it is the time of Germany and Paraguay. Well, Germany follow suit and do what everybody expects them to do and progress, or will Paraguay be the team to cause the biggest shock of this tournament? We will find out in just over an hour and a half's time. 9:30 kickoff from Boston, Massachusetts, as the third game of this round of 32 gets underway. But there it is, confirmation once again of that knockout bracket. Canada and Brazil have booked their places in the round of 16. So, it is heartbreak for the Samurai Blues, but they will be feeling blue at this moment, but should be proud of their performance. For Brazil, the quality shines through, and they're through to the round of 16. Bye-bye.